Today we are ranking every Mario game on Nintendo Switch. I don't care if it's a 2D platformer, I don't care if it's a 3D platformer, RPG, sports game, other spin-off, a delisted game even. We are going to rank every single Mario game that has been released for the Nintendo Switch in celebration of Mario Day. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're actually going to go in release order, and the first Mario game that released on the Switch all the way back in 2017, almost 8 years ago, was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And yeah, listen, I know it's a port, this is a Wii U game, but man, there really couldn't be a better place to start because this is absolutely an S tier. This is one of the best Mario games of all time. It is the best Mario Karts, I would say, pretty confidently. You know, I have a lot of nostalgia for 7 and Wii, and of course, the iconic Double Dash, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe really kind of gives you everything you want. Now, we will be ranking the Booster Course Pass separately because it is such a separate beast. If we're talking about that, then this thing is like triple S tier, but you know, on its own, at launch, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, having the new battle mode added in there, having the Inklings thrown in, as well as a couple other characters, it is just a sublime Mario Kart experience. And even though it's a Wii U game that released over a decade ago now, it's still one of the best looking Nintendo games. I think this game is a real visual treat, especially when you're on like Rainbow Road N64. That is just a beautiful, beautiful track. So many hours put into this game. So much fun has been had. The music, the orchestral music, all the saxophones and everything. Like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is an S tier. We're starting off with an S tier. I know that's crazy. I know it's a port, but man, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it just has me so excited for the next Mario Kart on Switch 2. You know, I'm just thinking about it now like, oh man, Mario Kart is so good. They have a lot to live up to because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just a fantastic, fantastic game. But now for our second game. This released back in August of 2017. Already getting a little weird. Nintendo did not publish this game, funnily enough. Instead, we have a Ubisoft Mario game, and that is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So a little backstory here. Back in 2016, it was rumored and kind of leaked that there would be a Mario Rabbids crossover RPG of some kinds. And I remember hearing those rumors and just being like, oh no, this is a bad idea. I really was against it when I first heard about it. But then when we saw it at E3 2017, when it was announced, they kind of won me over. It has this very nice art style, very high production value for a Mario game, especially at the time, at least for a spinoff anyway. And you know, playing it on launch back then, they really won me over. I think Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a really great game and also pretty underrated, to be honest. However, Mario in general, the quality very high. I don't know if I want to give this an A tier just because I want to have a little bit of differentiation between S, A, and B. So I'm thinking high B on this one. It's a Mario strategy game where you have your battlefields and you drag your characters around. I really like the customization with the different weapons, each Mario character, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and honestly, I'm forgetting who the fourth one is. I guess it'd be one of the Rabbids, right? Because you can kind of mix and match them. They all have like the unique weapons, which is really cool, and there's different like upgrades you can get. Really enjoyed that. I love the way the world is designed, where the actual battles that you're fighting kind of take place in the overworld. So you'll do a battle, you'll take out some enemies, and then you'll run around doing puzzles and collecting coins within that battlefield. Like, there's no loading screen into the battle or into like a different, you know, world. Like in Fire Emblem, you go into a battle, you know, you're just loading into a zone. And this is all very seamless, all very natural. The music is really good here. The story's fun. I'm thinking low A. I'm thinking low A for now. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I really do think is an underrated game. I don't have much desire to replay it, I think. Like, I'm pretty good on that, but it's a fun game. Also, the DLC is really good. The DK Adventure DLC, a whole separate little thing. You have Cranky Kong in there, which is a lot of fun. I'm thinking low A for now, but maybe move it down to high B. I'm not sure. It's a really fun game. And what's great is if you haven't played it, it's usually very, very cheap. You can get this game for like $10 on sale on the eShop all the time. Basically every week, I feel like this game is on sale because it's a Ubisoft release. So yeah, a really weird game that I wasn't expecting to like so much, but I ended up really kind of loving, honestly. Next up, on October 27th, 2017, we have what is undeniably one of the biggest Mario games on Switch, one of the best Mario games on Switch, and that is Super Mario Odyssey. Where do I begin? Where do I begin with this game? Absolute classic, instant classic. However, that's the thing. Fun little story here. When I played Mario Odyssey for the first time, I don't know what it was exactly, but I enjoyed it. but I wasn't like, oh, masterpiece, masterpiece, best 3D Mario game ever. It wasn't until I replayed it, funnily enough, when they added Balloon World, so only a few months later, that I really fell in love with this game. I 100%ed it, got all the moons. I think Mario Odyssey is an S tier, below Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, though. I love this game. I love all the worlds. I love the, this idea of just going on an adventure and exploring all of these different planets. Not unlike a Mario Galaxy, but you have all these different art styles. You're going to like New York City, basically, where there's real humans and you can capture them. The capture mechanic is, I think, an all-timer Mario mechanic. I think that might be like the best core mechanic of a 3D Mario game that we've ever had. Better than Flood, better than the anti-gravity or gravity of Mario Galaxy. Capturing all the different enemies and all the different objects is a ton of fun in this game, because every few seconds you're trying to throw your cap on something new, and then it usually works, and you're like, oh, what is this going to do? And you kind of have to, figure out that. It's just a lot of fun exploring this game and learning all the different captures, but also Cappy as a movement mechanic is just such a great thing. Being able to throw the hat, hold the Y button down, do a jump on top of it, throw it again, do a dive. Initially, when I played this game, I don't know why I was being like so negative, but like I was like, oh, I don't like how heavy Mario feels. I don't know if I like the movement that much. I'm a Mario 64 kid. I love that game with all my heart. That is my favorite 3D Mario game, and I really specifically love it because of how just good Mario feels to control, at least to me as someone who grew up with it anyway. I know a lot of younger people or people that didn't play it growing up maybe wouldn't feel the same. I know it's definitely some nostalgia bias, but in hindsight, going back to this game, replaying it several times since then, the movement is king in this game because of Cappy. It just feels so good to move around. You can roll around in this game. Movement in a platformer is always like the most important thing, and they absolutely nailed the movement in this game. I don't know why I was being negative when it came out. I really don't. It's a little sad. I mean, this game's almost 8 years old, and we haven't had like a proper new 3D Mario since, so we're definitely overdue. But yeah, Mario Odyssey, definitely an S tier game. Like I said, I think I'll put it a little bit below Mario Kart, because I think like on an almost in like an objective level, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just so incredible. There are a couple maybe little nitpicks I have with Odyssey. I know a lot of people don't like how there are so many moons to the point where certain moons don't feel that impactful, but I really like just constantly finding new things to do and finding new ways to get moons in this game. Maybe not so great on a replay like a Mario Galaxy or a 64, but in terms of like a strong first, second, even third experience, talking Mario games, I replay these a million times. It's a really great game. Mario Odyssey, fantastic game. Going in S tier. Starting off pretty strong with 2 S's and an A tier, but that will change very soon. Next up is Mario Tennis Aces. This one released back in June of 2018, and this one, I'm feeling B tier, and that might be higher than a lot of you would put it, as is the theme so far. However, I think Mario Tennis Aces, people always say like, oh, the Mario Sports era on Switch has been god-awful. We'll get to that. We'll get to that when we talk about the other Mario Sports games on Switch, but I actually think Mario Tennis Aces is pretty good. I think the mechanics are just really solid with the super shots and everything. Mechanically, very sound game. I also think the content provided here is pretty good as well. You have that nice story mode, and in general, it's just a pretty game. It's a fun game. I always have fun playing Mario Tennis Aces. This did start the trend of the free content drip for Mario games, specifically Mario sports games, and I definitely don't like that. Maybe at launch it was a little bit more bare bones, but I think when you look at all 3 of the Mario sports games that have released on Switch, Mario Tennis Aces is easily the best in terms of just the fun factor, in terms of just the enjoyability, and in terms of it being a complete finished product at release, and especially when you have all of the DLC characters added in there. Maybe it was a little bare bones at launch, but I don't even really think so. Like, I had a lot of fun playing online with Mario Tennis Aces when it came out. Some of those characters should have been there, but of the 3 sports games, this is definitely the best one. I'm putting it in B tier because every time I load it up, it just feels good to play. Maybe I just like Mario Tennis more in general than the other sports, but Aces is really solid. I think this is maybe the best Mario Tennis game. That's probably a hot take. I don't know. I think I had more fun with this than any other Mario Tennis game, actually. So yeah, it's going in B tier. High B, even. Next up is the only spin-off I'm allowing to be on this list because it is so closely associated with Mario. We're not talking about Luigi's Mansion here, or Donkey Kong Country, or Princess Peach Showtime, but I will talk about Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, that's released back in July of 2018, another Wii U port. However, Captain Toad is always a game I've really enjoyed. It's not like the craziest thing in the world, right? It's just kind of more Captain Toad from 3D World, except they went crazy with it and made it way better than the levels that were in 3D World, and the content that's in the base game of Captain Toad, very good, and I really, really loved the DLC levels they did, and also the new Mario Odyssey theme levels they did. Remember this game got paid DLC? Isn't that weird? Yeah, I actually played that DLC. I'm one of 3 people that did that. Captain Toad is just a joy, you know? I don't really have any nitpicks with it or issues. I think it's just like a good, solid time. The Switch version added co-op. That's pretty cool. It's just a good game. You either like it or you don't. It's a very calming puzzle game, very satisfying game to like 100%. I love completing games. Going for all of the collectibles, all the green stars, just everything in this game is a lot of fun. I would say this is also an A-tier game. I would put it above Mario Rabbids, I think. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, you know, it's cool to see the 3D Mario team get to make a game that's not 3D Mario, right? They made a puzzle game where you have these really beautiful dioramas, and it's just so much fun, like, moving it around and kind of figuring out, okay, how am I going to get Toad here? How am I going to do this? What do I need to do to, you know, get this ladder down or whatever? And there's some really cool level themes. Yeah, I would say A tier for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, the Switch version. You know, the controls are maybe a little weird with the cursor on screen, but that's fine. So yeah, A tier, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Really fun game. I like this one a lot. Next up, we have the first of 3 Mario Party games, Super Mario Party, released originally back in October of 2018. This is like the black sheep of the Switch era of Mario Party, and I will admit, I don't have much experience with Mario Party outside of 8, 10, and then the Switch games, right? I don't really have any experience playing the N64 games, or especially the GameCube games, which I know a lot of people are like, you know, they're the fan favorites, I would say, at least in my experience, maybe up until Jamboree just came out. Super Mario Party, though, ended the trend of the really bad Mario Party games. I see people slander this game online all the time, but I played Mario Party 10. It's fine, I guess, but Super Mario Party really set the series back on the right track, I think. And while, yes, the 2 Mario Parties that came since are better games, I'm not going to deny that, Super Mario Party is still a lot of fun. They try some fun modes here with the Joy-Con, with the motion. You have the River Raid game where you're going down the river. That one's fun. I think Super Mario Party is a solid, fun time that has definitely been overshadowed by its successors. I would say B tier, below Mario Tennis Aces, but like just right next to it. Like I think they're pretty close. I think Super Mario Party is pretty great Mario Party, all things considered. Especially where it was, you know, you really have to have the context of Mario Party 10 and Island Tour and Star Rush and the top 100. Going from those, Mario Party 9, you know, another one that people hate, going from those to Super Mario Party, pretty big step in the right direction for Indie Cube, or now as we know them at Nintendo Cube. So yeah, I would say B tier for that one. Speaking of B tier games though, this might be a little high for some people, but I think this game is actually pretty good. You know, fatigue was setting in very strong with this franchise when it released on Wii U originally, but in January of 2019, Nintendo released New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which includes the base game, as well as New Super Luigi U. Now, I know a lot of people would put this like way lower. A lot of people look at New Soup U as like the worst thing that Nintendo's ever done, the worst 2D Mario game. Here's the thing with New Soup, and maybe I need to replay New Soup Wii and New Super Mario Bros. For DS. I think New Soup U is probably the best one, to be honest. It's been a long time since I played those other ones. They all kind of blend together, though. I like the DS game, Mini Mario, a lot of fun, all the different secret routes you can do. But New Super Mario Bros. U, maybe my judgment's clouded. You know, I played it on the Wii U launch title, very nostalgic for it, even though, you know, I played all the other ones before this. I don't know. I think this game gets a little too much hate. They release way too many of them way too fast. I will definitely not deny that. It is not the game that the Wii U needed, but it's just a really solid 2D Mario game. You have that one Starry Night level that kind of makes you think this game's going to be way better than it actually is, but then it's just that one level. So that's funny. But it's a cool level, don't get me wrong. I think this is a B tier, though. I think I'll put it below Mario Tennis Aces. Yeah, I'll put it below Super Mario Party as well. I think it's below that, but it's still B tier because it's just a fun game. I think New Super Mario Bros. U is a fun game, and then New Super Luigi U I think is even better because, you know, we'll talk about Wonder towards the end of the video. New Super Luigi U, like, I play 2D Mario fast. I run through the levels. New Super Luigi U being a speedrun game, honestly perfect fit for me and how I like to play at least the older 2D Mario games. So I really had a lot of fun with that. If we're ranking the port itself, I would say it's kind of lackluster. They added Peachette. They didn't really do that much, but the port itself aside, it's just pretty solid content. I think it's B tier. And now we're at the part of the video where I make a lot of people mad. I have a personal vendetta against this game, so don't take it personally. But in June of 2019, Nintendo released Super Mario Maker 2. Now, before I give you my ranking of this game, Super Mario Maker on Wii U, one of my favorite games. I put so many hours into Super Mario Maker for the Wii U. And admittedly, I have not played Mario Maker 2 in a very long time, since the first couple months after release. I know they added Link, I know they added a World Maker. I never really interacted with that. I am ranking this game based on how it launched, and this game just left such a sour taste in my mouth. I would say this is like a C tier for me. Getting rid of the mystery mushroom might seem like such a stupid thing to complain about, but a lot of the fun of the Wii U game was how people were designing levels specifically around like what character it was. So if it's like, you know, Pac-Man, they're designing a 2D NES Mario level as if it were a Pac-Man game, or trying to like figure out how that would work, or with Link or you know, Zelda or something. People would make really interesting levels based around what character you were using, and Mario Maker 2 removed that, and I think it genuinely led to a lot less interesting levels, at least at launch, for me. The 3D world theme kind of just feels like we needed to add something. We needed to add something new to this game. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to discredit the team's work on this. They added a lot of new elements, a lot of original elements. Slopes was the big thing with this game. And with the post-launch content, yeah, they added a lot, you know, Link being a really big one, and the World Maker. But the online, at least at launch, was basically unusable. And making levels, also just not fun on a controller. I made a ton of levels on a Wii U because I love just sitting, you know, cozied up in the, you know, corner in the chair with a blanket, playing on the gamepad, just making levels. And I guess, yeah, you could do that on the Switch in handheld mode. I don't know. I didn't enjoy making levels in this one. I'm giving it C tier. I know a lot of people would put this in S or A. I didn't enjoy it that much. The story mode's cool. I will say that. The story mode, often overlooked part of Mario Maker 2. I did enjoy the little Super Mario Maker story mode where you're playing as, you know, Builder Mario. You have this little hub here. You're rebuilding the castle or whatever it is. I like the story mode, but I think it's C tier. That might be harsh. Maybe it's low B, but I'm putting it in C, man. I don't know. Thinking about it's kind of making me angry. Next up, in November of 2019, we have another Mario game not published by Nintendo. This one was actually published by Sega, and that is Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. I'll be honest, I have not put a ton of time into this one, so it feels a little unfair to put it so low. However, what I have played of it, and just based on my experience with the rest of the franchise, I don't think Mario and Sonic games are very fun. I think they're very shallow. The mini games in them, they're just not very fun. Maybe it's a low C, but honestly, I would put this in D tier. I just, granted, like I said, I have not put a ton of time into it. I probably have like 5 hours in it, but that's really all the time I felt I needed when this came out. I did like the little 8-bit Olympics that are in there. That's cool. I've seen all the sprites and everything, but I don't know. I think all of these games are kind of weak. Maybe I should go back and replay them all, you know, as an adult, right? I haven't played London or Sochi in a very, very long time, or even the games on Wii, I haven't played those in a long time either. So maybe I should go back, replay them all, maybe do a separate Mario and Sonic ranking. But yeah, I would say D tier for this. I don't know. I don't really like Mario and Sonic that much. It's not for me. Next up, in July of 2020, Nintendo released Paper Mario: The Origami King, our first Paper Mario game on the Switch, and I didn't play this fully until just last year while getting ready for Thousand Year Door, which we'll talk about in just a bit. This is the part of the video where I get dislike bombed. I'm gonna get so many dislikes. I love Paper Mario 64. I love Super Paper Mario. I love those games. I think they're incredible, especially 64. I really, really love Paper Mario 64. I know a lot of people view Origami King as a step in the right direction after Sticker Star and Color Splash. I think this game is definitely worse than Color Splash. Yeah, it's better than Sticker Star. Sticker Star is kind of just like a nothing game, but I really don't like Origami King. I kind of had to force myself through it, honestly. I like Mario RPGs, as we'll get to. There's going to be a Mario RPG game in S tier in this video. I know, unbelievable. Paper Mario: The Origami King, I had to force myself through. It was just, I was bored. I don't know how to put it into words, to be honest. the combat probably the biggest issue here. I think the combat is just really, I don't want to say shallow. It's not necessarily shallow. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's too easy, I think. And yeah, I'm ranking a kid's game. I get it, but I really don't like the combat. It just felt so, it was like a dread to play, really. It just, every time I had to go into a combat, I was like, oh, I don't want to do this right now. Because like, it's just like the same answer every time, basically, you know? It's just, okay, how do I route Mario through to the center, or, you know, other way around, if you're fighting regular enemies. The boss fights can be kind of cool, but also really annoying as well. Once again, not in a way that's like, oh, I'm really like stumped on this boss. Just like, okay, I know what I need to do. Let's just route it out. I think the combat in this game is really bad. I had more fun playing Color Splash. I will say that with absolute certainty. I also just think the writing in Paper Mario specifically is a little too meandering. It feels like I'm reading Goodnight Moon or something. It feels like I'm reading an actual child's book, and the other Mario RPGs don't feel that way. So maybe Paper Mario, at least everything post 64, is not for me, but I really did not enjoy playing Origami King for the first time last year. Very pretty game, I will give it that. Very pretty game, very good music. That is really all I can say about it. For me personally, I'm putting it in D tier. I'll put it above Mario and Sonic. I think that's fair. But for me, nah, dude. I really didn't like this game, and I know I'm gonna get so much hate for it. With that said, in September of 2020, Nintendo released another S tier, and that is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Now, I will say that if we're counting it, if we're ranking it based on the port alone, this is kind of a lackluster collection. They didn't really do that much. Sunshine running in widescreen or whatever, right? But I'm ranking Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy against every other Mario game. This is undoubtedly an S tier. The port quality itself, maybe that puts it below Odyssey, even though, you know, we're ranking 3 great Mario games. Maybe that would outweigh Odyssey by itself. But considering the quality of the port, we'll put it below Odyssey in S tier. There's really not much to say here. Like, it's 3 of the greatest Mario games ever made. I actually don't like Sunshine that much. It's fine. I don't want to be mean to it. But Mario 64, like I said earlier, favorite 3D Mario game. And Mario Galaxy, I wish I had Galaxy 2 in there. I definitely like Galaxy 2 more than Galaxy 1. But it's S tier. These are just 3 fantastic games. Even, like I said, even though I don't love Sunshine as much as other people, 64 and Galaxy, man, you cannot go wrong with those games. Really had a lot of fun just replaying these, especially Sunshine, which I hadn't played since I was a kid. Even though I do think it's the weakest 3D Mario game, it was still just nice to go back to it, because the weakest 3D Mario game is still like an 8 out of 10, you know? It's still like really fun to play. So yeah, this is a definite S tier from me. Okay, now we have 2 weird ones. One of them you can't play anymore, and one of them I don't actually own, however I have played with it before. So starting off, this is as part of their 35th anniversary celebrations for Mario. We have Super Mario Bros. 35, which, if you are familiar with Tetris 99, or F-Zero 99, or Pac-Man 99, it was basically the Super Mario Bros. Version of that, and I actually had a lot of fun with this game. I love NES Mario, Super Mario Brothers. I played it a ton growing up, so I just have a lot of nostalgia for literally just NES Mario. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, it's so old, I don't want to play that. I love Super Mario Brothers, and having a Battle Royale twist on that where you're seeing a bunch of Mario ghosts running behind you, just a lot of fun. I didn't play it as much as I wish I had, though. I was very busy not playing video games at that time, very busy with work, so I didn't get to put the hours in that I wanted to. Based on my memory, though, for the probably, once again, like 5 hours I did play of it, I would say it's like B tier. I just had a lot of fun with it. I think if if it was still available and I could still play it and, you know, I could have 100 hours in it, I think there's a real argument to be made that this is like an A tier game, but I'm going to put it in B. It's just really sad that you can't play it anymore. I hope they bring it back at some point, maybe as Mario 40 for the 40th anniversary. That's very unlikely, but yeah, Mario 35, a lot of fun. Rest in peace, you forgotten game that nobody can play anymore. Likewise, we have the only original Mario Kart game that came to Switch, and that is Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. I don't actually own this one anymore, or ever, but I have played it at friends' houses and stuff like that. It's like, I'm gonna say it's D tier, but like, not because it's bad. It does exactly what it advertises. You have a little Mario RC car. It has a camera on it, which is pretty unique. And you set up these tracks around your house, and you just drive it with the Switch. You use the Switch as basically your RC car controller. It's fine. It does what it does, but it has like no replay value, right? Like, it's just a fun little gimmick that you kind of mess around with on Christmas morning. It's not a game you're gonna come back to. It does what it does. I'm putting it in D tier, though. Honestly, it kind of feels unfair to rank it against actual video games. And like it is an actual video game, but I don't know. I'm putting it in D tier. Nothing against it. It's just not, it's not really a game. Like it is, but it's a toy, which is fine. It's D tier though. But we're back to another absolute banger that released in February of 2021, and that is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So I'm rating these as one game, even though they are kind of separate here. I have a complicated relationship with 3D World. I really love 3D Land. I'm the only person that will ever utter this sentence on YouTube, but I think 3D Land is better than 3D World, at least the base game on Wii U. However, the Switch version actually fixed up a lot of my issues with that game, specifically the speed. I think the level design of 3D World is held back by the fact that it's multiplayer a little bit, meaning you have these big sprawling spaces and kind of just nothing in them to run around in. But they upped the character movement speed in this game, and it's just absolute chaos now, which just makes it a lot more fun, either in single player or in co-op, because co-op is just absolutely bonkers chaos. So I really like what they did with 3D World itself. And then Bowser's Fury is good. I need to replay it. I haven't played it since it came out back in 2021. I enjoyed Bowser's Fury. I think it's maybe a little shallow. I enjoy the open area, open world approach, I guess we could say, to 3D World. It's a little weird though, because like you have some 3D World mechanics, but it plays kind of more like an Odyssey, but not really. Kind of reminds me of Sonic Frontiers, where you just have these random obstacle courses. It doesn't really feel that cohesive. You just have like, okay, you're in this open world, and then there's a bunch of Mario courses over there. Go run over there and do them real quick to grab the sun sprite or whatever they're called in this game. It's good. Bowser's Fury is good. I don't know if it's really comparable to any other 3D Mario, though. I would say this package as a whole is top of A. I'm not going to give it S tier. 3D World, like I said, they fixed my issues with the Wii U version. 3D World's a fantastic game, especially now removed from the context of 2013 Wii U when everybody wanted, you know, an Odyssey-like Mario game, an open sandbox Mario game. 3D World removed from that burden, top tier game. Really great game, especially with the increased movement speed. But I would say high A, not S tier. But once again, I know a lot of people probably would put it even higher than I did. But I think high A is fair for this one. And now we are at our second sports game from Camelot, released in June of 2021, and that is Mario Golf Super Rush. Now, I'll say this right now. I actually had a lot of fun with this game. This is my first time playing a Mario Golf game in any real capacity. I've messed with Toadstool Tour before and World Tour on 3DS, but this is my first time like really playing one, playing through the story mode, all that. I had a lot of fun with it. However, I think this is a C tier game. Top of C. It's really unfinished, or at least it felt unfinished and unpolished. The open air golf, or like open country golf, whatever they called it, really bad. I just want like a proper Mario Golf game with like really nice Mario themed courses. This has some of that, especially in the DLC. Like the New Donk City DLC course is a lot of fun. But like specifically the open country golf, I think that's what they called it, where you have like this pretty big map, you have a ton of holes you need to do, and you have to like run around as Mario. Awful. I think this is actually, like, that gameplay is actually just really, really not fun. But there are a lot of redeeming aspects here. I think the mechanics of it are good. It's solid to play when you're playing online, when you're doing the DLC courses that came out. I do like that there's a story mode where you have your Mii running around this kind of like open linear world thing. I say open, it's not open world, it's a linear world, but you're running through it. I thought that was cool. But even though I did enjoy my time with this game, I think it's C tier because of the, I don't know, there's like a weird stank on this game. It also definitely felt more unfinished at launch than Tennis Aces did, at least in my opinion, but maybe you disagree with me. Once again, maybe it's just a thing where I don't like golf inherently as much as tennis, I'm not sure, but I did enjoy it, just nowhere near to the degree that I enjoyed Tennis Aces, and Tennis Aces felt like a pretty complete-ish, polished package with maybe a little bit of jank. Golf Super Rush felt very jank and pretty unfinished, but I did have fun with it, so I don't know. I would say high C. I would actually put it above Mario Maker 2, just to spite Mario Maker 2. Get out of here, Mario Maker 2. No one likes you. That's not true. A lot of people like you, but I don't like you. October of 2021 came around, and with it, a new Mario Party game, Mario Party Superstars, released, and this is one that I didn't really play too much of until, I want to say, like 2022, so like a little bit after it released. This is a really great game. And you know why? It's because it's all the old stuff. You know, you have your N64 boards in there, you have mini games from, I think it's Mario Party 1 through 8, or maybe 1 through 9, I'm not sure exactly. But this is definitely a better game than Super Mario Party, because it's using the fan favorite stuff. You know, you have Shy Guy Says in there, you have Bumper Balls or whatever it's called. You have a lot of really fun mini games. My girlfriend loves playing. There's like this ball dropping mini game where like you have to connect the balls and like they disappear. It's really weird. She loves that game. So there's definitely some fun stuff there. You really can't go wrong with Mario Party Superstars because it is just the tried and true stuff. I like the boards a lot just because they're, you know, it's N64 boards. They're pretty basic, but also there are some more that are a little bit more complex. I think Mario Party Superstars is a lot of fun. I would put this in A tier. You know, I haven't played it in a while, but it's A tier. I would say even above, we'll say above Captain Toad. I think this, despite being kind of just a remake, was the true return to form. Super Mario Party, great step in the right direction. Mario Party Superstars, once again, even though it's older content, that's where Nintendo Cube really like locked in and they were like, okay, this is what people like, and they were rewarded for it because it's a fan favorite game now. Okay, it might be a little weird to rank this separately, but it's so separate, you know, from the game that I just feel like I kind of had to. So starting in February of 2022, they started releasing DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as part of the Booster Course Pass. Here's the physical version that has the content on the cartridge. So the Booster Course Pass, we're ranking it separately. I think the Booster Course Pass, all in all, you know, you look at all 6 waves, it's very unbalanced, you know? The first wave had a lot of controversy. Remember Coconut Mall? You know, the cars weren't driving, people were freaking out, a lot of the tracks didn't look that great, but it just kind of got progressively better. And by Wave 6, you know, they added a ton of characters, Diddy Kong, Pauline, Funky Kong, you had Wiggler added in, as DLC in there, you had the different Yoshis added as colors, and Birdo as well, I believe, right? So the DLC just got better and better as it went on, and as they kept releasing new waves, I got more and more excited to see what they were going to do, because, you know, they didn't promise new characters. They also didn't promise new tracks. So while most of it is built up of like 3DS, Mario Kart 7 tracks, and Mario Kart Tour tracks, which I'm very happy, you know, have a place to exist on console for when Mario Kart Tour does inevitably die, you also had new tracks that are really good. There's some really great new tracks in this DLC that I just wasn't expecting. You know, there's not a ton of them, right? Because they didn't promise them. It is mostly old tracks. But I think the Booster Course Pass is overall very solid. Had kind of a rocky start, but overall, I would say this is also A tier. And, you know, once again, this is, if you include all of this and you're ranking it as one thing with the base game, with the DLC from the Wii U version that's included there, with the Booster Course Pass, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe becomes like a triple S+ game. Like, it is the ultimate Mario Kart, and I'm a little worried, like, how are they going to follow this up with Mario Kart 9 or 10, whatever they want to call it, because this game has like 96 tracks right now and a ton of characters. What are they going to do? How are they going to top that? I'm excited to see what that actually looks like. Just a year after Mario Golf Super Rush released, we got another Mario sports game, this time from Next Level Games, and that is Mario Strikers Battle League. Now, once again, I want to be fair before I go on my rant here, that I only put like 5 hours or so into this game. I didn't really get that deep into it, but you know why I didn't get that deep into it? Because there's like no content. You have some like cups and like tournaments you can do, there's some gear you can unlock, and once again, I haven't played it since all the DLC came out. I know they added some characters post-launch, like Daisy, which should have been there in the base game. I think this is easily the worst Mario sports game on Switch. Just inherently, I think Mario Strikers is my least favorite Mario sports spinoff, because I don't think mechanically, you know, I don't know, you're like top down, you have all these different players you're passing between. I think it's just less fun kind of inherently. But also, I almost think this game doesn't get enough hate. I think this is almost Ultra Smash tier in terms of lacking content at release. When I bought it, I bought it on release day, I opened it up, I put it in my Switch. I was actually kind of shocked by there's just nothing to do. Maybe it's because I got used to having the story mode in Tennis Aces, as well as Mario Golf Super Rush, but all there's to do in this game is, like I said, those cups, or the tournaments, whatever they are, and then you can play online. And, like, that's fine, I guess, but when the past 2 sports games set a precedent of having story modes, I just kind of expected a little bit more here, especially from Next Level, which is one of Nintendo's best developers. You know, Luigi's Mansion's fantastic. So this one's a low D for me. I think this is the worst Mario game on Switch. I do actually think it's about as bad as Ultra Smash. I don't think it gets enough hate, honestly. If you love Mario Strikers Battle League, more power to you. I'm not trying to take that away from you. I'm happy that you like it. I'm happy that you got value out of your $60. I felt a little ripped on this game. I really, you know, it's Next Level. It's pretty. It has those pretty cutscenes. That's about it. It has the cool little character intros and special animation styles and all that. That's very pretty when it's doing that. But other than that, I got basically no value out of this game. I really did not like it. Next up, our final non-Nintendo published Mario game. In October of 2022, Ubisoft released Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Full transparency, I've not finished this game because I kind of just got bored. I was enjoying it from when I played of it, but then eventually I just kind of was like, I don't know. I think I'm over it. I talked about earlier how much I love Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and I think there's a lot that this game does better than that. Visually, especially, this game is a huge visual step up. Maybe Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle being in that launch year for the Switch made it more of like a time and place thing for me, where it was like a special, like, first new Mario game on Switch, right? Before Mario Odyssey came out. Sparks of Hope, it kind of felt like a been there, done that situation. They got rid of the like seamless battle transitions that I talked about how much I loved in Kingdom Battle. Gameplay, like, it's fine. It's a good game. I would say this is like B tier from what I did play, because once again, I did like playing it. I just kind of got bored eventually, and I was like, I don't know if I feel like finishing this. That also, of course, means I have not played the DLC, which added Rayman. I think there was some other DLC that they did as well. Maybe that's what I need to go back to and finish up. Maybe I would end up liking it more than Kingdom Battle, but I don't know. I really like Kingdom Battle when it came out, and once again, maybe it was a time and place thing. Sparks of Hope, I don't know. It just kind of felt like redundant almost to get another one on Switch. But it is, like, good, so I don't want to put it too low. Maybe B is a little high based on how I'm saying. Maybe low B, maybe even high C. I think it's somewhere in that range. But, you know, if I went back to it and finished it, maybe it's like an A tier. I don't know. I'm going to put it in B, though. Now, after that, there was a bit of a dry spell. Nintendo started really focusing on releasing, like, Fire Emblem Warriors games and Xenoblade games, and I was eating up. I was loving it. Splatoon 3 came out in 2022. But at the end of 2023, Nintendo released what I think is an absolute S tier, and that is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Listen, I adore 2D Mario. I grew up playing Super Mario Bros., Lost Levels, Mario 2 USA, Mario 3, Mario World. Like, I love all those games. I enjoy the New Soup games quite a bit more than I think a lot of other people do, hence why I ranked New Super Mario Bros. U so high. I think Super Mario Bros. Wonder is easily the best 2D Mario game. I don't think it's really close, honestly. Like, I think it's such a step above even the best 2D Mario game, whether you think that's World, whether you think that's 3. I think it's significantly better than any other 2D Mario game, because it felt like the 2D Mario team finally had the time and the resources and just the creative freedom to just go wild with a 2D Mario game and really make something unique that you hadn't seen before. I said this in my review back at the time, but it feels like the 3D Mario team made it almost, with how creative they get with every level. I will say, you know, I'm putting it in S tier. The bosses are mid. That's definitely the biggest issue with this game. Having to fight Bowser Jr. multiple times, whack. They should have definitely done better bosses for this game, but the actual, just in general, levels, playing through the game, having a lot of fun, I think the level design is awesome. Having the Wonder Flower, just having this unique kind of zany mechanic every single level, even if some are repeated later on, like, what a special game. I think this is a really, really special game, especially because, and I said this in another video around the time it came out, I think Mario Wonder has some of the best online in any Nintendo game. And I know that sounds crazy. What are you talking about? It's just ghosts. But launch day, playing this game and having all of these other players behind you, putting down standees, rescuing you if you die on that one final level that's like a gauntlet, right? Just added a really nice level of like community to it, you know? Like, usually 2D Mario, pretty, you know, lonely experiences. Maybe you're playing it locally with a family member or something. But having the online ghosts that aren't really intrusive to gameplay, you know, you can turn it off if you don't want to, really, really made it a more rich experience for me. So Mario Wonder, not only am I putting it in S tier, I'm actually going to put it above Mario Odyssey. I know that is probably crazy. I almost want to put it above Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is one of my favorite Switch games. I really, really love this game. I'm talking about that online experience. Maybe on subsequent playthroughs, it won't be as strong for me, but that initial playthrough was just so special, and I'm excited to go back to it eventually and see how it holds up. But I really, really loved it. Also, just shout out to like the little hide and seek levels where, you know, once again, talking about that online experience, you go into like this room and you have to figure out how to get all the keys. Man, awesome level archetype, I guess we'll say. I really, really enjoyed those levels and just the entire online elements of this game. Okay, we are down to the final 5 Mario games on Switch now. I alluded to this earlier. I said there would be a Mario game in S tier. I'm kind of leaning like maybe just really high A or really low S. I'm thinking S tier though, and that is for Super Mario RPG, released back in November of 2023, not too long ago now. This was my first time ever playing Super Mario RPG. Of course, this is a remake of an SNES game, and you might be thinking S tier is way too high for that game. It's a pretty basic RPG, pretty by the numbers RPG. They didn't really add that much to it. However, I appreciate games for what they are a lot of the time, and I just really appreciate that this is a 10-hour, really tight-knit RPG with really great cutscenes, a lot of heart in it, pretty fun combat overall, great music, just fun little worlds and areas to go through. It's just a really good game. This game left an impact on me, and just that it's just really wholesome and fun. I don't know, maybe it's too high, maybe I'm crazy right now, but Super Mario RPG, I really loved. You know, once again, playing it for the first time through this remake. This is not a game I have nostalgia for or anything. I was just really surprised by how much it really resonated with me. You know, as someone who has heard all the, you know, Geno for Smash pleas throughout the years, I always thought like, oh, there's no way this game is actually that good. I actually think it's that good. I really, really love this game, and especially, I mean, I gotta shout out my boy Mallow, dude. Mallow is the absolute GOAT. I think Mallow might be my favorite Mario character. Mallow is such a good character. He's literally perfection. So yeah, Mario RPG, I'm putting in S tier. Low S, arguably high A, but I'm gonna put it in S tier just because I really like that game. Just a few months later, in February of 2023, they released a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong. This one's a little hard to rank, kind of reminds me of Captain Toad, where it's like, how do I rank this against like a 3D Mario or even the sports games? So Mario vs. Donkey Kong, this is a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the GBA, where it's kind of like Lemmings, where you have these mini Marios and you got to lead them to a certain place. Although this is, you know, the original kind of iteration of that, or maybe not original because DK94 exists, but you play as Mario for most of the levels. You're going around doing little backflips and stuff, grabbing keys, opening doors. But then you have these like boss levels where you have the actual minis. This is a lot better than the later Mario versus Donkey Kong games, and this is actually my first time playing this game, I should say that. So, you know, I played the DS Mario vs. DK games growing up, and I enjoyed them. They're fine. I think those also get a little bit too much hate. But first time playing this, the GBA one, after once again hearing about it so much, I had a good time with it. I don't think it's like the greatest thing ever, but I think it's just a solid puzzle game. I would say this is B tier. It's only like 5 hours, you know, it's not gonna blow your socks off, but it's just a good, solid puzzle platformer. I had fun with this one for sure. Okay, next up, I'm ready to see my subscriber count plummet even further. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I'm putting this in C tier. So, Thousand Year Door, I played as a kid. It was actually my first Paper Mario game. So I have a lot of nostalgia for it. However, first time replaying it since I was a kid, replaying the Switch version back when it came out in May of 2024, I don't know, man. Once again, like I was saying with Origami King, I think Paper Mario, just not for me. This is definitely better than Origami King. Don't get me wrong, way better than that. But still very meandering, feels like I'm playing an actual game for like a toddler, where there's just so much nonsense text. Just, I don't know, man. It's not that I hate reading. I'm fine with reading in a Mario game. I just think the text is so, it's not entertaining. I'm not laughing at the little jokes that they make. I like the characters. The original characters in this are really good. The world is good. The music's good. Visually very good. I just don't have fun playing this game, which is crazy because I love RPGs. You know, Xenoblade. I have a whole Xenoblade shrine behind me. I freaking love RPGs. I love turn-based games also. I don't know. I think Thousand Year Door is extremely overrated. So I would actually put this in C tier. I'll even give it high C, right? I'll put it above Mario Golf Super Rush. It's no Mario Tennis Aces, but it is better. It is better than Mario Golf Super Rush. Sure, I'll give you that. Down to the final two here. In October of 2024, we had a Super Mario Party Jamboree released, the latest entry in the Mario Party series. And this is the moment. This is the moment we have been waiting for Indie Cube or Nintendo Cube. They finally got it 100% right, but also in a new game. Mario Party Superstars is incredible, but it is old content. They didn't make a new thing for that, although there is some, you know, new stuff in there a little bit, but it's mostly old stuff. Super Mario Party Jamboree is the first new Mario Party that I think 100% nails it. This game is absolutely fantastic. The Koopathlon mode is a ton of fun. All of the boards are really good, but also you have some old boards from the classic games. I think Mario Party Jamboree is at the very least, out of the Mario parties I played, being the Switch ones, 8, 10, and like a little bit of some of the 3DS ones, I think this is easily the best Mario Party. I'm not going to put it in S tier, partially due to just, I haven't put like a ton of time into it. Mario Party is a game I just kind of play intermittently whenever family wants to or friends wants to. So this is a game I'll put a lot of time in over the next 3 years. By the time I put, 100 hours in, at that point, maybe it becomes an S tier. But right now, based on what I have played, I would say this is a strong A tier above Mario Party Superstars. We'll say below 3D World, but honestly, I could even see it being above that as well. And then finally, the final Mario game released on the Nintendo Switch, at least so far, released in November of 2024, we have Mario and Luigi Brothership. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know I did a review of this game back when it released, and I actually said it was my favorite Mario RPG on Switch, possibly of all time. I'm going to reel it back a little bit. I like Super Mario RPG more. Now that I've had time to sit on Brothership, I definitely like Super Mario RPG more, and I also would maybe put Paper Mario 64 above it as well, but Mario and Luigi Brothership, still an incredible game. I don't really get the people that don't like it. Is it a little bloated? Sure. It could definitely be a shorter game. It's like 40, 50 hours, 60 if you do everything. Like, it's a really big game for Mario. And, I'm being very critical of Paper Mario for its dialogue and writing and just kind of how slow it feels. And yeah, there is some of that in Brothership. But I don't know, man. I really had a great time with this one. I think the art style is awesome. The combat, very engaging. As someone who hasn't played every Mario and Luigi game, but, I've played Superstar Saga and I've played Bowser's Inside Story. I think this is better than those, at the very least. And I know that's a hot take because those are like the two fan favorite Mario and Luigi games. I love the whole mechanic of you're going to these islands and then you're kind of linking them back to your home ship island. Snoutlet is fun. Great characterizations of all the Mario cast. Bowser could have been in it a little bit more, I guess, but really just Mario and Luigi. It felt like they really went hard on characterizing Mario and Luigi, especially through those like cinematics, those cutscenes. I think this might be like the most like really animated, emotive cutscenes we've had of Mario and Luigi ever. So just that alone, like I got so much enjoyment just seeing that play out. So Mario and Luigi Brothership, I'm gonna put this one in A tier. So not S tier, not above Super Mario RPG, but I will put it. I don't know. I guess I'll put it below the Mario Party games. We'll say I could definitely see doing it above them though. We'll put them below Mario Party Superstars, but it's a strong A. Like, this is a really, really good game. I really like it. I do not understand the hate that this game gets. But also it is like really mixed, right? There are definitely people that say it's their favorite Mario RPG, and then there's some people that think it's the worst abomination that was ever made. I don't really get the divide. At the very least, I think it's a great game, like bare minimum. But that is going to do it. That is my ranking of every Mario game on Nintendo Switch, not counting spin-offs, although we did Captain Toad, and not counting like Virtual Console. I'm not going to go through. I mean, at that point, I'd be doing basically just every Mario game because they've added so many to Switch Online. But every, retail Switch release or like unique to Switch release, like 35 and Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of my ranking? I'm sure a lot of people will be angry at some of these placements. Some people will maybe agree. It's rare to see someone trash on Paper Mario. That's a rare thing on YouTube. But yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How would you rank all of these Mario games on the Nintendo Switch? Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo content, a lot of collecting stuff, but also retrospective and ranking content like this as well. You can follow my main channel where I cover Nintendo news at Botox Games, and you can check out 2 videos here to see what the old YouTube algorithm is recommending you. Until next time, folks, peace.